Hello and welcome to this week's Rituals of Returning mini ritual. Today we are exploring the recap and review deck from June's practices, and so I make these little cards for everyone in the Goddess Magic community. You get some of them as a Rituals of Returning newsletter subscriber. You get some of them once a month. And then people in the Goddess Magic community on Patreon get cards every week with our practices, with our shared practices to help guide us and support us and create a evolving and becoming inspiration oracle as the year unfolds. And then at the end of the month, I collate the cards of the month together into this color recap and review deck and send it out to everybody. And then I do a ritual video based on that deck, kind of trying to help us reconnect, root down into, deepen into, expand our understanding of some of the themes and things that we've explored over the years, so that we don't just rush on to the next thing, but that we take an opportunity to sink in to the things that we've already explored. And I use this kind of thematic video as an opportunity to kind of briefly share several things to hopefully inspire your week to come. So we're actually going to start out with today's reading from 365 Days of Goddess. I do want to point out my beautiful, I've been talking in the newsletter about our beautiful new blessing flags that we have that our friend Chalet has been making for us. And so you can actually see them back there over my shoulder in the studio. So wanted to point those out to you as well. But anyway, going ahead and starting with our reading for today from 365 Days of Goddess. And this is a spell to restore wholeness, which we really do need. And one of the powerful things about this book, if I do say so myself, is it provides this just momentary space of pause, this breath of returning, this opportunity to settle back into yourself, and this invitation to return. And then yes, life pulls you away, and there's a lot of things to pay attention to, and there's a lot of things that really deeply need our attention. But in this book, for these moments, we can take an opportunity to pause, to reconnect, and to come back home. So this is a spell to restore wholeness. So before we begin, inviting you to take a deep breath and settle yourself into your body, into your time, this place, right where you are. You make your own magic right where you stand. You really do. The temple is wherever your feet are. Okay, so here we go. I open my arms to the sky. I call my spirit back. I lay my fingers against my brow and bless myself with clarity. I lay my hands against my heart and bless myself with peace. I cup my face between my hands and bless myself with trust. I lay my hands against my belly. I feel my body on this earth. I return to center. I restore myself to wholeness. I restore myself to wholeness. So a possible affirmation for this week is I restore myself to wholeness. And of course, another option is I step into the sacred. I step into the sacred. I call my spirit back. I return to center. I restore myself to wholeness. Okay. And I meant to draw an affirmation from the color cards, and I didn't actually do that. So I'm going to quickly do that and see which one we get to root back into. Haha. I accept this moment. I accept this moment. And acknowledging that it can be difficult. Like, accepting the moment doesn't mean that we don't act to change it. Accepting the moment doesn't mean we love every moment. Accepting the moment just means that we don't argue with reality. Instead of trying to force what's happening away or try to make ourselves be better, we accept this moment and then we choose. And sometimes that choice can be to step out of a situation or to take action on something or to call our legislator. But the first thing is to accept the moment. It does not mean that we love every moment, and it doesn't mean that we don't act to change. It doesn't mean that we turn into non-active, blobs of jelly. Instead, we take action to change things. But in the moment, we stop arguing with reality and accept the moment as it is. And And so that was something that I wanted to remind us of as well. And then, so the other thing, I like to highlight some stuff. So I already pointed out the flags in the background, but I also want to share our really special edition goddesses for July, which are inspired by Kuan Yin and compassion, which is our goddess of the month. And so we have these really beautiful, so we have two words for these. I've been calling the color compassion teardrops or compassion raindrops, because they have the inclusion of these little sparkly teardrops or raindrops inside of them. And so we have the goddesses in lots of different styles, some with belts and some without belts. And the ones with belts have the follow your heart for compassion, have a follow your heart belt on them. And anyway, I love the compassion blue teardrops. I can tend to think of them as teardrops, but John, who works for us and helps with manufacturing, calls them raindrops, and both are possibilities. But basically, these goddesses, the color is supposed to be very soothing and nourishing to you. And then also the little teardrops connect us to Kuan Yin and our month of compassion. Either the teardrops, like her healing waters that she, in mythology, she carries willow branches with her, and then she uses the willow branches to sprinkle like drops of compassion or raindrops of compassion on things. But also Kuan Yin's name, what she means is she who hears the cries of the world. So I feel like the teardrops in there represent both the tears of the world, but also Kuan Yin's response and her availability to come to where she is called in the face of suffering and sprinkle raindrops of compassion or teardrops of compassion to the people that need them. And so anyway, that's what she's inspired by. So these are the new goddesses for this month in the shop. That's our special edition color for July. So wanted to make sure to highlight that. Then we're going to revisit some more inspiration from the recap deck for this month. And the first one is a quote that I actually had shared a couple of weeks ago, but I was traveling during that time, and so I shared it during one of our community practice lives, but I didn't actually talk about it because it was shared in with a video, a pre-done video. And so I wanted to go ahead and walk through that quote from this one because it's really good for this time of year. So it comes from Ann Wilson Schaaf, and it is this: do not forget that it is summer. Have you slowed down, taken days or weeks of vacation? Let the air have access to your body, explored nature, or let your toes out of your shoes. It's not too late. And I find that a really powerful invitation. Of course, we may not have the ability to take weeks of vacation, but maybe we could take a day off or an afternoon off or a evening off. Maybe we could let our toes out of our shoes. Maybe we can explore. It's not too late. So I think it's important to remember, if there's something that you wanted to experience this month, if there's something that you wanted to explore, if there's something you wanted to dive into, if there's something you wanted to feel, if there's something you wanted to experience, it's not too late. It's not too late. You still have time. And so I find that a helpful reminder. There's some journal questions included with this card. What part of my life needs attention? You may find, and I find this very true for me in the summer, that things are crying out for my attention, and I sense very clearly that there's things that need my attention. There's things that need my attention. There's a call that really starts to resound through the land, through my body, through my dreams at this time of year. It's a call to the cauldron, which we will be exploring in August. Anyway, what part of my life needs attention? How do I want summer to feel? How can I cherish myself more? How can I cherish myself more? And an affirmation: I accept. And that is that connects really well to our I accept this moment. I accept this moment. I accept. I revel in my power and I relish my capacity. I revel in my power and I relish my capacity. So how might it feel to allow yourself to relish your capacity? How might it feel to allow yourself to revel in your power? And if you feel disconnected from your power, or if you feel like it's impossible to relish your capacity, maybe those questions are your invitations into possibility. Maybe those questions are invitations into the what ifness. And so sometimes I share that what if you have trouble connecting with a question or connecting with an affirmation or connecting with an idea, sometimes you can just ask yourself, what if I allowed this to be true? So it might not land with you, and you might think, no thanks. Reveling in my power, relishing my capacity feels very distant, especially when there's so much suffering and pain going on in the world. Might have a distance. I don't even want to consider that. So allowing yourself to consider the possibility of just what if? What if I could revel in my power? What if I could relish my capacity? What if that landed for me? What if I connected to that statement? And then let yourself explore that question instead of feeling like you have to force something that isn't resonating. So that's a possibility for you too. And now it's time to close out this week's ritual of returning. And I have a little prayer for you from our recap deck as well. So inviting you once again, the spell to restore wholeness, to settle into your body, hand against your heart. I root down into this earth, cradled in the belly of now, inviting ease and spaciousness. Grant me the courage to return, to savor life's sweetness, to breathe into margins of magic. I am a child of the universe, touched by grace, awakened by love. Help me honor the land beneath my feet, celebrate the good that surrounds me, and allow pleasure to guide my path. May I find strength in gentleness, compassion in stillness, and wonder in each unfolding moment. I am grounded, I am connected, I am blessed. So be it. Thank you so much for being here. Keep living your magic, everybody. Bye-bye.